I want to talk to you today about something that fundamentally shapes how the world sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. The neuroscience is clear. Your brain's dopamine circuits don't fire for intentions, they fire for completions. And so what this means for men's mental health is profound, because when we understand the mechanism by which our nervous system rewards finishing versus starting, we gain access to a tool that can reshape our entire relationship with effort, with stress, and with our own sense of capability. Before we go further, I want you to take 3 slow nasal breaths with me. In through the nose for 4 counts, hold for 7, out for 8. Because what we're about to explore requires your parasympathetic nervous system to be online. The world judges you by what you have done, not by what you have started out to do. And so what the research shows us is that the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, this region of the brain associated with willpower and tenacity, actually grows when you do things you don't want to do. The bulldog wins by the simple expedient of holding on to the finish. And neurologically, that holding on is training a specific neural circuit. What this means is that finishing, even small tasks, is not just about the outcome. It's about building the architecture in your brain that makes the next finish easier. Winning is not a sometime thing. It's an all-the-time thing. You don't win once in a while. You do them right all the time. It's right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit, and unfortunately, so is losing. What the neuroscience tells us is that habits live in the basal ganglia, and they operate below conscious awareness. And so when we talk about men's mental health, we have to talk about the autonomic loops we're running. Because if your default loop is avoidance, rumination, or self-criticism, that becomes the habit your nervous system defaults to under stress. The key thing to understand is that you can retrain these loops with consistency, not intensity. When you feel the urge to quit, to scroll, to numb, that's your amygdala signaling threat. I want you to practice what's called urge surfing. Notice the sensation, label it, and use the 47-8 breath protocol we started with. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This shifts you from sympathetic overdrive into parasympathetic tone, and it buys your prefrontal cortex the 2 minutes it needs to make a conscious choice, instead of a reactive one. And so finishing becomes not an act of willpower, but an act of physiological regulation. That is the mechanism. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. And so let me give you a protocol. Every morning, 2 minutes. Body scan from head to toe. Notice where you're holding tension, and ask yourself one question. What is the single most important thing I will complete today? Not start. Complete. Write it down. At night, same thing. 2 minutes, reflect on what you finished, and set your sleep window consistently. What the research shows is that sleep deprivation degrades prefrontal function by up to 40%, and that's the part of your brain that helps you hold the finish line in view when your amygdala is screaming to quit. It is not a question of how well each person works. The question is how well they work together. And so here's what I want you to understand about men's mental health. Isolation is the enemy. Your nervous system is a social nervous system. Co-regulation. Being in the presence of another calm, trusted person literally changes your heart rate variability, your cortisol levels, your threat detection. I want you to text one person today, not tomorrow, today. Set a weekly 10-minute check-in where you're honest, not performative, honest. Say, I'm struggling with X, or I need accountability on Y. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's a prefrontal override of the primitive shame circuits that tell you to hide. That override is leadership. Will you do whatever is necessary to finish the year at maximum effort? How dedicated and giving your all are you? And so here's your protocol. Write down one outcome you want by year end. 1. Then write the single daily habit that supports it. Then write the name of the person you'll report to every week. Take a deep breath. 4 in, 7 hold, 8 out, and say it out loud. Commit. Not to perfection, to completion. If you're overwhelmed, reach out to a counselor, a coach, a brother. That is not failure. That is activating your most powerful tool, your social safety network. Breathe. Text a brother. Take the next step. Your nervous system is waiting for you to lead it.